Hello and welcome to the Sober Experience, formerly known as the Spiritual Experience, where we share stories of overcoming problematic situations in life through triumph and working together, as well as recovery topics and all other forms of spirituality, self-help, and the like. I'm your host, Jay Lewis, and here we go. What up, everybody? Welcome back. Sober Experience. Chilling on a Sunday. Yep. Happy birthday, America. What a beautiful record. Yeah, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back. Sober Experience. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms as I adjust the microphone to my face. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a couple of weeks. I took a week off. A lot of stuff was going on. I was a little busy. Needed a little break. But we're back at it. Yeah, man. Today's a Sunday. It's a little bit of a weird fishy day. I've been back in the gym. Sciatica pain, everything is gone. I did all the right things, apparently. And now the last right thing that I need to do is really just take my time as far as, not going too crazy when I go back into the gym. Yeah, man. So there's that. You know what I mean? There's that. So... the last few days I've been pretty consistent, and I'm feeling good, man. Feeling sober. I got asked to speak at a couple of anniversaries. I had to turn down one, only because I'm speaking at the one right after, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to really speak back to back in the same place. And I really appreciate the, I don't want to call it the recognition, but I appreciate the thought, man. People are like, Meanwhile, the truth is it's just that, I've been clean and sober for a long time. So things that I learned in my 10th year, somebody with 1 year, they don't know yet. So it sounds like wisdom. But the truth is, it's not wisdom. It's just experience, an experience in practicing these principles and these guidelines and this stuff. Practicing all of it, on a daily basis, man. Life is, life just comes at you, and you deal with it as best you can, and you do the best you can. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. I think so. The last time I spoke to you guys was when when Hugo passed away. That was a couple of weeks ago. And I miss him already, but he's in a better place, man. He's in a better place. And I'm happy he's okay now. He's okay. It's not easy putting this shit together, Not at all. I was talking with one of my kids, the middle one, because they passed their EMT exam, and they passed it the same day that I went to the wake for Hugo, and so now they have to. It's so funny, like when you're a young person, you really don't know, adult, PEMDAS, which is, for those of you who are young, order of operations, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, right? So they're applying for this EMT job at a private place, and whatever. So the place is in New Jersey, and it's far away. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hour commute each way. And so I'm like, okay. They're like, yo, And they're so funny because I told them, that if they got their license or when they did, I tell my kids this shit when they're like young. And then it's almost like I got to be a man of my word. Because if I tell a kid when they're like 11 or 12, like, listen, you get your license, I'll get you a car, which is the nice thing. All of a sudden they're 24 and they're like, yo, I just got my license. And I'm like, fuck, I guess I'm on the hook for a car that I promised fucking 10 years ago, which is whatever, But they all come with the cars come with conditions. Anyway, so point is, they're saying to me, they're like, listen, I know that you said that you would get me a car after I got a job and that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah. Like, well, this job is very far away. And so I would need the car to get the job. And I, the adult thing and the sober thing is to just listen to the absurdity of that and then not say anything. Instinctively to be like, what are you, a moron? It's not the way it works. But I said, I listened to them and I just stayed there quiet. And I don't know. Hopefully I can really continue to work on my poker face because like, I almost like started like really laughing. Like, come on, man. I said, first things first is, you have to get the job. You might not even get that job. And I said, what's the commute like? They're like, oh, it's in Jersey, but they're offering whatever. I think it was like $27 an hour or something, where all the other local ones are offering $22. So I'm like, okay. Offering 22 versus 27. So it's an extra $5 an hour. Right? Which, yeah, whatever. I don't have to do that much adult math. But, like, they don't, I had to break it down for them. I said, first things first is that, like, you get the job and you are not ready to drive from Brooklyn through Staten Island to New Jersey. I've been in the car with you. You are not ready for that. That's a lot of things. That's a highway stuff. That's a whole lot of stuff. They get very, I guess they get a little bit overexcited. And they're immature. Because of just, they were raised during a different time, at a different time by different people. Again, I already knew how to drive when I was like 13 or 14. Not at minimum 13, 12 or 13. I like knew how to drive. I could get around town. But you guys heard all them stories. So the point is this, So I'm like, no, listen, here's the deal. You got to get the job, number one. Number two, you do the commute. And while you're doing the commute, whether it's 30 days or 60 days, whatever it is, we keep practicing driving until I feel like, okay, you can go, they're not even ready to get on the highway yet. They can't, So I'm like, dude, you can't ask for a car if you're not even ready to get on the highway comfortably. But I was like, that's, basically what I said. And I was like, okay. So the next day we're like, I'm like, boom, we start driving, right? And they're doing pretty good, actually. I throw them in a little bit of the fire. They had to follow me from Park Slope all the way down to my shop, which is by the Navy Yard. It's a couple of miles, maybe like 4 or 5, but it's like 5 Brooklyn miles with like going up Atlantic Avenue, Flatbush Avenue. Like it's a lot of shit. Bikes everywhere, delivery people, double parked, fucking all kind of shit. And they did it. They made it. No highway, but they made it. Anyway, so I'm talking with them. And I'm like, well, what's the, I said, what are the requirements? Whatever. And they were saying that, they have to pass a drug test. I was like, okay. I was like, what are they testing for? And they said it was a typical 9-panel test. And, Yeah. I was like, okay, so what does that mean? They're like pot, everything from pot to like amphetamines. I was like, oh, when was the last time you smoked pot? Smoked weed? They were like 4 days ago. I was like, yo, you can't even pass the drug test and you're fucking putting a car on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how backwards youth is. Youth meaning just inexperience, not age. Like, dude, you got so far to go before, you can't put the cart before the horse. Yeah, you got so far to go before a set of keys gets dropped in your fucking hands. You got a long way to go, but it's okay. It's okay, it's staying a thing. Because I asked them about the drug use stuff because, here's the thing. The day that they showed up to the graduation. Now I'm getting all Biden. No, I was just like pouring some seltzer on some ice. Yeah, the day they showed up to the graduation, they had like straight up like jerked up cocaine face, and it was wild. I was like, and I was enjoying it initially. I was enjoying it, and yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ, man, and I texted my wife, and I was like, yo, this person looks like they're on cocaine or some kind of amphetamine. I always say cocaine because I don't know what somebody who looks like speed is on because I'm from fucking New York, and the only people doing speed ever is like gay people over here. So at the graduation, when they're all jerked up, I text my wife. I'm like, yo, they're all jerked up. Either way. My wife is like, yeah, I saw them for a few days like that. I'm like, okay, no problem. No problem. I found it bizarre, but I enjoyed the whole thing because like, who the hell wants to be sitting in the fucking heat, cocained out, gleeked out at a fucking graduation? That's punishment and torture enough. I'm not gonna fucking, I'm not gonna fuck up the whole thing. So I didn't, and whatever. And I watched them push food around the plate because they couldn't eat it and all this other stuff. Anyway, so that's why I asked them questions about the drug stuff, the drug test for these fucking jobs. Because I'm like, dude, if you, but here's the thing. It's like they passed the test the same day as the graduation. So I get it. Maybe they wanted to do a little turn up, and that's fine. So what happened was like, I ended up getting to an argument with my wife a few days later because I asked him, I said, do you want me to talk to them about that? Because it's very obvious to me, as a drug addict, alcoholic, junkie, loser. Like, bro, it'd be very tough for somebody to be even around me without me noticing something's wrong. Not maybe instantaneously, but like if I pay attention, I'm like, oh, this person's either medicated or whatever. So my wife was like she was like, no, because my wife don't like the way that how direct I am with the kids. And the thing is, like, maybe I'm too direct, but I don't give a shit, bro. That's how fucking people are with me, and it's out of love. And I'm not saying you're a fucking idiot. Like I said, with the car and the whole horse before the cart thing, whatever, cart before the horse. I was like, listen, there are steps. Here's the step. We do this step, then we do this step, then we do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, what are you, a fucking idiot? Because that's the way my dad would have spoke to me. He would have been like, yeah, that's fucking stupid and you're stupid. Now go fucking kick rocks or whatever, So because what happened was like I asked my wife if she spoke to them about it because she didn't want me to speak, and she was like, no, not yet. I was like, how do you not talk to them about that stuff, But the thing is like, then I also have to be patient because, everybody does things at their own pace and at their own time, and that's the part of being in a partnership and part of being on earth is I can't just control everybody's timeline. You know, my wife has a lot on her plate. She's going to school. She's doing whatever. Whatever's on her plate is a lot. I don't know, actually, all of it. And it's a good thing that I don't know everything, because I don't. What the fuck do I? What am I? What do you want me to do? You know, everybody, you got to eat your own meal, right? So whatever. A few days go by, and then she was like, "Yeah, I spoke to them. They said it was. They said there was an adverse reaction to the medication," which my wife tried to make that excuse to me on that day. They're like, "Yeah, it was this." I was like, I don't think so, but whatever, because then magically it's gone. So what happens is, like, the next day or a few days later, I saw a wallet in the living room. I open it up, and there's my fucking Amex card is in the wallet, you know? So I do that, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So whatever. The Amex card is in the middle kid's wallet. So then I asked my wife, like, yo, when did they get the card? She's like, no. And, you know, she was just like, she was already in a fucked up mood because I was pressuring her to talk to them. And that was that. So she's just like, there was no answer she could have said that would have been the right one for me, but it didn't matter. You know, straight up, it did not matter. And, you know, because I was just like, listen, I don't care that the kids have, if the kids need a credit card and they're going to get in trouble, whatever, for emergency, I'm totally cool. But how about you just let me know? You know, and they were like, oh, I don't think, you know, I don't know why it should make a difference. I'm like, it makes a difference because I fucking pay that motherfucking bill, bro. That's why it makes a difference. And they were like, it doesn't even make sense what you're saying, and it's ridiculous. And I got very upset when she said it was ridiculous. Because now, here's the thing. It's like I turn into like, you know, sometimes recovery turns you into like a fucking bitch ass. And you're just like there trying to explain feelings and all this other shit. And you're in your mind, you're hoping because you're trying to explain feelings instead of just barking and calling people names and whatever and yelling. Since you're trying to do it the right way, you feel like you're groveling. You're like, dude, yeah. You know, it's fucking crazy. You know, it makes you feel like a vagina. So what do I say? It's like, oh, if it really doesn't matter, if you don't think it matters that I know, then why don't you fucking pay it? Or give them your credit card or whatever. Give the credit card with your name on it. Why has it got to be mine? You know? And then they're like, oh, then it turned into a whole fucking thing, and she started yelling, you know I can't fucking pay that bill, and this and that. I was like, oh, so what, you think? So all of a sudden it matters because you can't fucking pay the Amex bill or whatever, but it don't matter because what the fuck is that? You know, but it didn't matter because at the end of the day, the horse was out of the barn, and, you know, it's very rare that people can just be like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Even if, I don't know how you don't see that. I don't know how anybody doesn't see that, but like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You know? And it turns, and then when I speak to my kid about the drug shit, about them being all jerked up and whatever, I said, did mommy talk to you about this stuff? And she was like, no. I mean, they. They were like, no, she didn't talk to me. I'm like, oh, so one of them is lying, which is like, you know, this is why part of me wants to be involved so I can be on the same page. But then it's like dealing with, so what am I going to tell my wife? Like, okay, one of you is lying. Who's lying? Now I got to play in between. I'm like, dude, who the fuck wants to live that life? And thank God for AA and for recovery and for God. And thank God for God and the steps and all the stuff, because I was like, bro, this is not my life. I can easily ring this bell and start fucking flying like a ping pong ball back and forth between her and the kids. And all of a sudden it turns into an anxiety driven, self-righteous thing where I'm just like, I know I'm right. Now everybody needs to bow to me. Kneel before Zod. You know, like that. But I'm already fucking right. You know, and since I threw that fucking jab at my wife about the, why don't you fucking pay? Guess who's been in the fucking doghouse, right? For a couple of days. So I'm like, but you know what? Yo, straight up and down, I stood on my principle. I was like, listen, I don't care what the deal is. The point is that shit goes on between you and that one kid, and sometimes you and the little one, and you leave me out of it. And that's the root of everything, is that I don't like to feel like I'm being left out. Specifically, if I am the motherfucking safety net. Whether you like to admit it or not. Because if you say, you know what, then don't help me when I fuck this thing up. Then what? I'm going to sit here and watch you fucking fail something? Or watch you be in pain? Or watch, you know, like my wife missed a deadline for the financial aid thing. And I'm like, okay, so what? I mean, in my mind, I know what that means. That means that, guess what? I got to fucking wash some rugs and save some money so we can pay for the school. And I'm like, so how am I responding? I say, listen, it's okay. I said, it's not 10 grand, right? She's like, no. Maybe it's like 2 grand. Who knows? I say, okay. What are we going to do? It happened. You know, that's it. It fucking happened, and that's it. We'll pay it and we'll figure it out and whatever. And fucking move on. You know? I could be like, hey, you know what? You broke it, you fucking pay for it. Like, you know, knowing that they can't. And, that, you know, to put them in a position because I want to be right. Because I want to teach them a lesson. So I just fucking, you know. So then it comes to me. I'm like, dude, I don't even have to have these conversations with my kid about the drugs. Because they tell me, like, you know, they take LSD, you know, here and there or whatever. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I fucking took plenty of orange sunshines. Opened up my brain. Just so you know, like, there's a possibility that you could become a fucking vegetable. Don't say you don't know. And what do you want me to tell you? You know, and that's it. You know, so anyway, if they worked so hard to get past these exams and do these classes and do all this shit, they're going to have to get off whatever they're on to even get a job. So why would I choose to stand on that little hill of now I'm the fucking sober sheriff of the house, when the reality is it's all going to come out anyway, because they have to pass a drug test to get a fucking job. Which is, so, you know, that's like God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. You know, that's what that was. You know, so my wife has been giving me like the lukewarm shoulder for like a fucking week. And then I start to feel, which to me, you know, again, I'm going to say my side of the street. To me, is fucking crazy. Like over that comment or whatever that I said, you know, that I took that little swipe at them. It's crazy. It's crazy to me, but it's real to them. And I'm like, yo, who wants to, I'm not saying who, like, you know, where do you get your balls? But I'm saying, like, I personally do not want to spend my days being angry at anybody. Days. Like days. Who wants that looming in their fucking stomach and in their, like, who fucking over that? But then I realized, yeah, my wife don't have no fucking program. She don't have no program. She hangs with her sister. She don't got a lot of people in her life, and that's fine. She doesn't have to be a social butterfly. You know, but she has nothing telling her anything other than whatever she hears online. I don't know what she's doing. And that's it. You know? Yeah, like it's self-will. That's what that is. Self-will. So I'm staying as positive as I can be. I'm like 85% positive. Not say 80% the whole weekend. And when I think about that she's still mad and giving me like that, meh, you know, I mean, I ain't going without any meals. I still pick her up and drop her off from school and we hang out together and whatever. But like, you know, you can tell that there's something there. She's still mad. And she even said it the other day. She's like, I'm still mad. And I felt like being like, bitch, still? Jesus fucking Christ. What kind of existence is it that you're going to be? Did you catch me sucking on some nipples or whatever? Like fucking, you know what I'm saying? Don't you know that that kind of lifestyle of just this cyclical, you know, madness, anger, it's like a waste of time. Like a literally waste of your own time. But you know what? That's her life. So like finally yesterday, I was just like, dude, are you still mad? And, you know, she was like, yeah. And she was just mad, cold, like laying next to me like a fucking cold fish. And then finally I got fucking mad, right? I got mad. I was like, you know, I was like, dude, this is fucking crazy already. But I didn't even say anything. It was 12:30. I just finished watching some boxing. I was on Twitter talking shit. And then I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking sleep. Whatever. And then she's, you know, yeah. She, you know, she starts, she burns a couple of, I mean, she takes a few hits of her pen. She hadn't smoked weed in so long. So she smoked a little bit of trees. And hold on one second. I'm sorry, I'm back. Yeah, it was, yeah, that was crazy. Sorry. Somebody was banging on the fucking wall, but it was like the neighbor, you know, and it was a little bit loud. I just want to make sure nobody was knocking on the door. Anyway, so she takes a few tokes of her fucking pen, which is fine. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Going to sleep. I was angry, and I knew I was going to be angry and stewing. And I was like, let me just go. And I have like these like CVS brand like sleepy pills. So I took 2 of them. I was like, I know this shit's going to knock me out. And then halfway through my sleep, she like jumps on top of me. And she's ready to get a little fucking frisky, bro. And I have to be honest with you, bro. Bro, sis, everybody. I have to be. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to. Because I was angry. Like first time in my life that I was just like, I don't want to do this. I'm fucking mad at you. You know? But then, I don't know why, I felt like obligated, I guess. And I was like, okay. And that like ties this whole string. And it was, you know, we got busy, Bo. And I go back to going to sleep. And I'm like, then I start feeling even more like like a woman. I'd be like, bro, is this what you're using me for? Now, I mean, not whatever. I'm not fucking Bishop Don Juan. But I'm the fucking wiener in a jar. Right? That I guess, you know, you want some, you come knock on the door. I'm supposed to be like, okay, here we are. And I say to myself, like, oh, man, this is what women feel like. When they feel, you know, quote unquote pressured or whatever to, I mean, it's not the pressure. I wouldn't say pressure. Yeah, the pressure you put on yourself. I could have just been like, bitch, get off me. But, you know, and that was like, I don't remember. I mean, there was one other time in my life that my mind was overriding my loins, you know, and I was just like, dude, I am doing 100% the wrong thing here. And it was only because I was telling myself at that time the same thing maybe I was telling myself yesterday, like, yo, bro, you're fucking playing yourself right now. You know, you're playing yourself. Because then after, Chex Mix, she just goes back to her being her fucking, her cold ass self. So even though we were, she was angry at me during the week, we still got physical a couple times. Once or twice or whatever. So in my mind, I'm thinking everything is okay. Meanwhile, she's still fucking angry. And I'm like, I don't know how many more mixed signals I could get or how stupider I could fucking be. But I was like, okay. So then I just get up, today I got to go do whatever I got to do. But then I was telling myself, like, it's whatever. I could have made it worse. I could have told her to get off me, and I don't want to fucking do it because you're being a fucking asshole. And then what? Then it turns into another discussion with with the same person, not another person. Another discussion about how I feel with the same person who doesn't like to be wrong ever and fucking is going to be mad at me for another fucking week. And then I ask myself, is that how I want to spend my fucking time? Do I want to spend my time? Like, is that the hill I'm willing to die on? Because I can find a hill every fucking day. Every day I could find a hill to die on and just be in a perpetual thing of just, Jesus. I don't know. And I think, I'm guessing there are other men, maybe they're listening to this, most likely, who also maybe feel a little bit, what do they call it, like demasculated or emasculated? When no, they don't want to have sex with their partner because they're fucking pissed off. But the caveman lizard brain overrides it and be like, bro, don't be a pussy, bro. That's your woman. And if she wants it, you got to give it to her. Yeah. And then just dealing with that. Whatever, however that is. And what are you going to do? You're going to talk to one of your guy friends and say, listen, this is what's going on. This is what I did. It all stems from from that place. When you're just with yourself and your own thoughts and your own ideas, again, no one says that she didn't have to be mad about anything. She could, that's not even, that's part of her thing. She's allowed to be. And we had 4th of July time and we did barbecues and I've been cooking and all this shit. And then, in my mind, I just don't like the coldness and I don't understand it. And I can just wait for it to pass. But then I'm also another human. I'm also a human being that says, listen, eventually I'm just going to fucking be cold too, because I don't want to feel like a fucking puppy dog who's like groveling. And I can just say, fuck it. I'm just going to do my own thing. And then whenever you're ready, you let me know. You let me know. And then even saying that will perpetuate, it's not going to help the situation. It will agitate the process of whatever they're going through. So it's about how do I navigate that effectively instead of being like, oh, you're being fucking immature baby by staying mad for a week. Meanwhile, right, what's my side of the street? And I'm being very clear, very honest with you, all of you. My wife and I, we have a relationship where the other 50 weeks of the year, we don't have any problems. between us. We have regular life situations. We have, money situations. We have kid situations, whatever. But we don't take it out on each other. And we're never that frustrated with each other. That this kind of stuff that's happening right now, then I say to myself, yeah, it's literally, I can't tell you the last time in the last 12 months that it has been like this. So then who's the fucking real baby? That I can't spend fucking 1 week in the shitter to get fucking 51 weeks or 50 weeks of incredibleness? That's my side of the street. And that's what I have to work on, is remembering that perspective, that I'm batting like 90%. If you want to use that, whatever, analogy. I'm doing like 90%, dog, where like most people, and I'm not justifying anything. Even with the situation that's going on, I'm just stating what's happening. I'm not justifying or even judging anything as best I can. I'm just saying that I have an opinion, but this is just reality. This is if it was not my reality, I would say this is not my reality. But my reality is that like my friends that I know, the people that I know, dude, their fucking marriages, some of them suck. Their wife fucking disrespects them all fucking time. They're miserable. Oh, the old ball and chain. I always use that example. It's like fucking crazy. They can't go anywhere. They can't do anything. The wife's fucking making plans. They're nagging them. The wife's got all these fucking stupid friends. Like, we want to make more fucking friends. And you got to spend holidays here and there. Fuck out of here, bro. I have a very, very, very free life. If I see my wife a few hours a day, I'm going to say collectively, minus sleeping, maybe 3. I'm doing my thing. She's doing her thing. And I have a lot of autonomy. And so does she. She can do whatever she wants, whether she chooses to or not. That's up to her. But she has complete autonomy. When she was going to the gym every day, she was every day in the gym, nail salon, hair, this, that, working, whatever, freedom, totally. So if that is my life, then I can, I can spend, there's a little bit of time in the timeout room. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But if I don't come here and talk about it with yous and speak it into existence by reminding myself, I'll stay in that victim mentality, that I'm the victim somehow of a fucking marriage that is 90% bliss. And that only comes with experience, sober experience of how many times that I stepped on a landmine and then put it back in the ground and then stepped on it again, and this whatever. I don't know how many times in my life up until this time, that I did that. And that's what being sober for fucking 20 years means. And that's what being involved in AA and NA and the steps and the literature and the fellowship, this is what it brings you. This is the promise. This is one of the promises, that you can have a situation that you don't agree with or whatever, and you have a very good opportunity to not make it worse. You always have the opportunity to not make it worse, but you can not be a slave to that impulse, that self-gratifying impulse that I am right and everybody's wrong, to not make it worse. I don't need to punish anybody. I don't need to teach anybody a lesson. My kid, whether I want them on or off drugs or pot or whatever, they're going to have to get off them if they want that job. If they want the car, I told my wife this morning, I said the litmus test should be you in the car with them alone. And if you feel safe, then you get the final fucking word. You know, even my wife got nervous, like, ugh, you know. So I can let things unfold and take care of themselves. Life is taking care of all of these situations with me being minimally involved. And the less I'm involved, the happier I am. Because nobody's going to comply anyway. And all I'm going to do is just try to control everything and everyone. And I'm going to fucking forget it. Fucking forget about it, bro. I'm going to be my own worst enemy. So, easy does it for everybody. I hope you guys are taking notes. Joking. Maybe not. But hopefully this is helpful, you know. And I'll do my best to check in with you guys on a weekly basis. Show you how the things I did good and the things I did bad throughout the week. Even though I'm back in the gym, and I'll close with this, I still had a bowl of fucking puffy cheese doodles at night. So it's progress, not perfection. And, you know, don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms. On YouTube, share the pages, share the stories. And, you know, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.